All right, so here's our pearl frost.
Now the pearl frost is her final enamel layer. What she's done is she's built up not only the lingual enamel wall, but she's built up the body of where natural tooth dentin would be. And so now what she has to do is just put a very thin layer of enamel on.
If I could have a little drop of wedding resin on my thumb right here, I will be in business.
Yeah, that's a good time to talk about wedding resin. This is a great product. Wedding resin is, what, 40% filled?
It's 45%
45% filled. The beauty of wedding resin is anytime that you want to wet an instrument, or in her case, her instrument is her finger, but anytime you want to wet that, you don't want to use something that's going to change the physical properties of your resin. And you also don't want something that can potentially change the color over the life of the restoration. So, wedding resin is nice because there's no HEMA in it. And HEMA is that wonderful molecule for bonding, but we don't want it because it changes. It can make it a yellow coloration over the years, so we don't want to change the color in any way.
So I'm going to start out with this little Brazzler disc, and what I love about the Brazzler disc is that there's no mandrel sticking out of the face of it. So I'm not going to be nicking up my composite. I get to use the full diameter of the disc. And then they do have two different diameters, so you'll see me switch over to the small diameter at some point. But all I want to do is just go in there and do some minor detailing here. All right. Now, for those of you who use brushes, and you're like, oh, she should be using a brush. We have a strip there. Actually, I have them over here, sorry. She should be using a brush because that's what all the artsy, craftsy doctors are supposed to do. Well, back in my younger days, I was a makeup artist. And one thing I learned from that short career was that brushes, even the highest quality of brushes, will drop a bristle. Now, if you're putting blush on somebody's face and you drop a bristle, it's pretty easy to pick out. But when you have a bristle embedded in your resin, it's a little different. It's a little harder to get it out of there. It wastes time. And so I'm not a huge brush fan, although I know they work beautifully in a lot of doctors' hands.
What's happening here? Catch us up on everything.
Well, we did number 9, just like we did number 8, same protocol. Used our putty stent as our guide. I've taken it out. I'm kind of checking it out to see how it looks. One of the things when you start bonding teeth side by side or adjacent teeth is that you may find that every once in a while you have to bring in one of these little serrated strips. Now, we call that a straight strip because the second you say in front of the patient, I need that serrated
interproximal saw.
The interproximal saw or the serrated strip, their eyes get big. So, I'll go ahead and just work that on in there and then come back with generally my ultra-fine polishing strip, ultra-fine Vision Flex. I don't go with anything more aggressive than that.
This is the yellow Vision Flex.
Yeah, simply because I don't want to open up any contacts like I would if I used one of the more abrasive. All right, so we're just going to jazz that up a little bit. All right, let's go in there with our disc. Just adjust the incisal edge a bit. It's a little rough right there. I told Stan yesterday, because we thought about bringing my assistant, my primary assistant, And then we decided, no, we'll just do it together, and there'll just be two of us on stage, and it'll be fine. And boy, yesterday I was like, I can still get Monica over here, you know.
We can still fly her in from Salt
We
Lake.
still have time. All right, so we're 2 down right now, and I'm still going to go in and do some adjusting, some detail work. But at this point, I'm ready to go on to number 7. All right, let's move on to number 10. So what we did, we got not number 10 placed, we got number 10 placed, and now I'm going there and shaping my composites.
Honey, you've made a mess.
I know I have, because I don't have my assistant here.
Another thing Jamie likes to do is she'll get a very sharp knife edge disc and she'll roll the embrasures so that it's not a right angle 90-degree drop off. It's a nice facial embrasure that rounds over and it makes it look more natural. This is the Jiffy brush if you've never used it. You can't do direct aesthetic bonding without something like this. This puts the high shine on it.